Joey Logano talks about his unexpected trip to the round of 8. The winningest crew chief in the Cup Garage swings by to take us in the pits. And we have a little Woo Wednesday.
NASCAR Daily with Shannon Spake.
Happy Wednesday, everybody. It is Hump Day, October 16th, 2024. This is NASCAR Daily. I'm Shannon Spake. We have a big show for you today. We're going to hear from Joey Logano about making it to the round of 8 after, of course, Alex Bowman's disqualification. 2 Bubbas in the field in Martinsville. And we're going to tell you all about that as well. RFK and Rodney Childers, crew chief for the number 4 Cup Series champion crew chief. He's going to be here in just a few minutes to take us in the pits at Las Vegas, a place that he's won before with Kevin Harvick. But first, let's start with Joey Logano. Okay, so Joey Logano is probably on his way home from the race this past weekend, gets a call, and they're like, guess what, buddy? You're going on to the round of 8. Bob Pockrass had a chance to catch up with him yesterday, and this is what Joey had to say about getting the news.
You get back in the playoffs when somebody gets disqualified. I mean, does this feel normal? Or is this a little bit of a surreal year?
It's NASCAR, man. I don't know what to tell you. Just expect the unexpected, man. It's just, you got to go, just roll with the punches and go with the flow, and just continue on.
We saw the video that Joey posted on social media yesterday with him in the front seat. It was almost like the Hangover clip where he's like, we're back, buddy, we're back. And yes, they're back. So now they have an opportunity to race for a championship. He's a 3-time winner at Las Vegas, and he may be 8th in the standings right now heading into this race this weekend, but he is only 11 points out of that cut line. So we know that listen, it's a gamble at Vegas, right? Anything can happen. You get it? All right. RFK Racing, let's move on to them. They are secretly revealing an announcement that they're going to make today. So today at noon, they are going to reveal a 2025 paint scheme. This is what they posted on X and on social media. They also said, who wants to see our first 2025 paint scheme reveal? Okay, so there's some speculation and some people out there, rumors maybe starting that this could actually be a 3rd entry for the team in 2025. So we'll have to make sure we tune in at noon, and maybe we can get Brad to talk about that, maybe on the show sometime. We can get Brad on to talk about it, if that's the case, of course. Okay, so 2 Bubbas in Martinsville. That's going to be happening. Bubba Pollard is going to be making his 2nd Xfinity Series start. So Sam Hunt Racing announcing that he's going to be at Martinsville. The 37-year-old made his Series debut at Richmond earlier this year. He was great. He finished 6th after starting in the back of the field. And we know that he is so super good on this type of racetrack. He has over 100 late model wins, 15 championships on various late model types of racetracks. So this is really cool. And he's a fan favorite for sure. The social media was on fire yesterday when this announcement got released. So excited to see him back in the car and what he can do at Martinsville after that 6th place finish. I love this because I'm a big college football fan, and I've never covered a football game at Texas A&M. I have, however, covered basketball at Texas A&M, and it is quite the sight. So this is going to be Chase Briscoe's car this weekend, a Texas A&M themed. And then at Phoenix, Josh Berry is going to also have a Texas. Oh, look at how cool that is. I mean, just almost like switched colors. It was like a reverse. I love it. Take a look at that. I wonder, we can get a little gig 'em. Maybe a 12th man or the Yell leaders will be down there on pit road. Maybe, this guy, I think, can answer that question. Rodney Childers stopping by right now to discuss everything Las Vegas. Yep, he's the winningest active crew chief in the garage, of course, the 2014 champion. But my question to you, Rodney, is when you have that Texas A&M paint scheme, do you have to do the push-ups on pit road like the Aggies do?
No, not for me. You know better than that. But it is a really cool scheme. And, to end our season that way and end our, our last race with the 4 car that way is pretty neat. I know my kids were pretty excited last night to see that scheme, and hopefully we can do it some justice out there.
All right, let's move on. Las Vegas this weekend, you've won there twice. I know it has been a bit since you've won there. How much does this racetrack change over the years?
It has changed a good bit. It's got a lot rougher in turns 1 and 2. I think the biggest thing this year, though, is the weather's supposed to be pretty close to the spring race, where normally every year it's really cool in the spring race and it's, crazy warm in the fall, and the track's nothing like it was in the spring. And the same setup that, worked in the spring doesn't work in the fall. So, that we felt like the 10 car had a really good car there in the spring, and we're going back pretty close to that. So hopefully it'll pay off for us.
Is it still the Hendrick Motorsports and Kyle Larson that you guys are going to be keeping your eye on?
Yeah, that 5 car, I mean, they have it going on right now. They're clicking, just all 8 cylinders. Everything they do is right. So, those guys deserve everything they're getting right now, just like the 4 car was a few years ago, right? I mean, you kind of, as a competitor, you like to see that. I enjoy seeing what they're doing, and what Cliff and Kyle's relationship is like. It reminds me a lot of like what Kevin and I were like. So, they have it going on for sure. And I think they're going to be really strong out there.
I love to hear that, right? Because I think that there's a lot of people who talk about these dominating performances and kind of like, look at it in like a negative way. But to me, I mean, listen, you're going to have these exciting races where there's tons of passing. And then quite frankly, you're going to have a team or a driver who just flat out figures it out and dominates. And you have to give them credit for that as well.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it doesn't matter if it's in racing or what, I mean, the guys that are dominant are the ones that you respect the most and the ones that you look up to the most. Just like Michael Jordan back in the day, and whether it's Alabama football or Georgia football or whatever it is, like, I mean, the guys that are really good, that's the ones that you look up to.
As a Dolphin fan, I'm just glad that you didn't say the Patriots, buddy. So we're still friends. You've been part of this process so many times with Kevin Harvick. What does the intensity feel like as you guys get to the round of 8?
It ramps up a lot. I mean, you're looking for anything and everything. Like once you get past the round of 12 and you get to the round of 8, you're like, oh my God, we have a shot here. And it could be any of those guys that make it to the Final Four, and then in the Final Four, anything can happen, right? So, the way that you win a championship these days is a lot different than it was back in the day, and you have to take it one race at a time. With Kevin, we just always took it one race at a time, and if it didn't go your way in the first race, then you went to the second one with a whole different mindset. And, I think that mindset changes every week, depending on how your races have went. So you'll see that throughout this round. You'll see those guys change what they're doing and how they're racing, and try to keep moving forward.
I'm glad. I want to circle back. I'm glad that you mentioned Alabama, because that kind of led me to one of the questions that I have for you. I covered Nick Saban many times, and he would always say that you learn more about yourself in times of adversity. That's what he believed with his players. And listen, I know this season has been a challenge for you guys from top to bottom, whether it be performance on the racetrack or now what you guys are dealing with the doors closing at the end of the year. Personally, for you, how have you been challenged this year?
Yeah, I mean, I've been so fortunate to have such a great race team and people around me that, just are good humans that care. And they've all stuck around, and that's been the most important thing throughout this year. We had it going on there for a while throughout, the beginning of the season, and people were able to see what Josh could do. And then that led on, to him being able to get a good ride for next year and to be able to continue in the Cup Series, which was really important to me. And honestly, like after his announcement and my announcement and that we weren't going together, that made it tough. And you can kind of see that in our results a little bit. So hopefully we can get that back going. We have some good racetracks coming up for us the next few weeks, and hopefully we can end on a good note. We want to see the 4 car go out in a good way.
Yeah, anyone who's been through, a company closing or something ending, I know that the end, as you get closer to the end, it can be pretty emotional. But you do have something lined up for next year, Spire Motorsports with Justin Haley. How much can you or do you start to kind of work ahead, or at least put some things in motion for the 2025 season?
Yeah, I really haven't done much. I went by the shop just a couple times just to walk in and show face more than anything. Honestly, there's quite a few old 4-car guys over there. So if nothing else, it's just stopping by or taking those guys to lunch. And I would probably take them to lunch even if I wasn't going to Spire. So, and then, I've got to get to know Justin somehow, some way. And the only thing that we've done so far is just go to dinner one night with our wives. So, we have to figure all that out over the winter. We've been trying to stay focused here on the 4-car and give Josh everything that we can and take good cars to the racetrack and finish strong.
Well, you got a couple more shots to try to get that done. Thank you for joining us here on NASCAR Daily. Good luck in Las Vegas, and gig 'em. I can't wait to see that paint scheme on the car at the end of the year.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, Rodney, thank you. And before we head out today, we got some big news coming out of Las Vegas. We've got some celebrities that are going to be there this weekend. Another Bob Pockrass mentioned today in NASCAR Daily. Honorary starters for Cup race at Las Vegas on Sunday. WWE's Rey Mysterio and Braun Strowman, who is the monster of all monsters. Of course, I always like to share pictures with you of some of the things that I've done over the years. And I've had a chance to meet some wrestlers. This was the New Day. This was at the Clash a couple of years ago. Sheamus, I've actually seen him at a couple of events. He's a big NASCAR fan. Always such a nice dude. How about that? A little woo on a Wednesday. That was a long time ago. And then at Dick Vitale's gala, I was able to meet Stephanie McMahon, who is just such a bad, bad. I'll let that word live. I love her. Former chairwoman and co-CEO of WWE. So she's awesome. That's it for today. We've got a big show tomorrow. Erica Davis will tell you if we won our parlay. Yeah, last week we did with Oregon winning, but I wonder what happened on the NASCAR side. So we'll find out that from Erica tomorrow on a Thursday. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Woo!
NASCAR Daily with Shannon Spake.